I'm Olga S. Perez, coming at you live, unleashing the power of perspective, one reaction at a time. I've been a life strategist for over 20 years, and I'm here to share my insights on trending topics, current news, and music videos that we all want to talk about with love and humor. Welcome back to the Olga S. Perez Show. I'm your host, Olga. How you doing? Live from Philadelphia, if you don't already know. If it's your first time here, awesome to have you. And if you've been here before, welcome back, my love. Today we got a twofer. My guest, Marc Abrams, you're going to meet him in a second. We made it. We've been plotting this or planning this or trying to orchestrate a time, date. Today's the day, baby. We are in Aries season, but okay, we'll talk about that in a second. You know your comments are my fuel. Keep them coming. I will read them. And I will respond. And thank you. If you haven't already smashed that like button, you should smash it just because we're alive and well. Helps the algorithm. You know. So comment, smash the like button. I am live on X, aka Twitter, Rumble, and the Boob Tube, my friends. So without further ado, let me introduce you. No, let my guest introduce himself. And I hope you guys are truly able to watch this live. And again, if you watch the replay, make sure to let me know you watched. And he's going to tell you all about himself in about a second. So please welcome a very, very, very special guest, Marc Abrams.
Wow, well, what an introduction. I don't know how I can follow that up. Honor to be here, Olga. Like you said, now we've been planning and plotting this for a long time. Your people finally came with the right number to my people, and here I am. Just kidding. I'm doing this. I'm not being paid for this. I'm doing this for my friend.
So this is what I love about him. So I said in my previous live, I'm like, hopefully, if not today, tomorrow. I said you're gonna meet this guest friend of mine, Marc Abrams, and I had briefly mentioned how I used to bust my chops all the time and we would laugh our asses off. And so I'm like, it's just so special to me. So just so you know, everybody already has, or at least if they haven't watched the last live stream I did earlier today, I gave him a heads up that you bust my chops better than anyone has ever. Nobody beats this guy. Nobody gets Olga to shut up except for this guy. Truth. And I got witnesses. Anyway, so Marc, tell us about yourself.
Well, I work in professional boxing. I've been doing it for 24 years. I own 2 big boxing websites. Can I plug them? Am I allowed to?
Yeah, please.
Oh, okay, because I don't know. So some of these podcasts I go on, they want money. You know,
Nah.
One's called theboxinghour.com. That's THEBOXINGHOUR.com. The other is called 15rounds.com, 15rounds.com. We just cover the sport of boxing, all the news up to the second news and reports on all the fights going on around the world. So we do that. Me personally, I'm also a boxing broadcaster I've broadcasted over 800 fights. 800 fight cards from around the world, all over the United States. I've been to Germany, China, Russia. Where else have I been? Canada about 10 times. Like I said, all over the States. I work for, some big promoters. I work for Don King and done some of his last bunch of fights. And I also, I'm a PR guy in boxing. I've been doing that also for 20 years and have about 50 clients, on and off 50 clients. I usually have about 10 to 15 active. Sometimes, they come back to me and say, hey, I need something done. And, I'm fairly busy in the world of professional boxing.
Somewhat busy. So
very busy.
So your business is like, how do you get paid? Like just for I'm going to pretend I'm ignorant. Like, how do you make your money?
I get paid for, like, for instance, the PR business. The PR business is, we write press releases. We write, to get awareness about events or about fighters. I have an email list of about 3,500 people. That's media. all the people in the boxing business, big promoters, managers, cup men, TV networks, whatever. So, if a promoter's doing an event, they want to get awareness out on the event. So that's, I do that press releases. On top of that, we'll do what's called media reach out. So if I'm doing an event here in Philadelphia, and the people who are watching this in Philadelphia, I'll call Channel 3, say, hey, I got this kid. He's got a great story. You want to do a feature on him? Channel 6, Channel 10, Fox 29, so forth and so on. Call the newspapers. Or if maybe I'm doing an event in, for instance, I don't know, pick a town. Okay, I'm a couple weeks away. I'm doing one in Pittsburgh. So I'll call up the local. I'll find a couple good stories that are going to be fighting on the card. Maybe a kid's has a great story. A lot of the fighters in boxing, boxing is actually known as a poor person's sport, in the sense that a lot of the athletes that come from tough upbringings. They have to, and to use the analogy, they have to fight themselves out of the whether it's a ghetto type of atmosphere growing up, or a hard life growing up. So there's a lot of amazing stories I've come across with the thousands of boxers I've dealt with. And the very, very interesting stories. A lot of people don't know what it takes to, for a fighter to even get to a fight. All the training, maybe especially at the beginning when they're not making big money. Very few boxers are making that big money. Some are juggling a couple jobs, and then they still have to train 2-3 hours a day leading up to a fight. So there's a lot of interesting stories. So in the PR department, that's what we're trying to do. The broadcasting, I'm the lead voice on most of these events that I'm doing. I like I said, I do stuff with Don King. I work for a company called bxngtv.com, where it's a streaming platform just for boxing. They're pay-per-view events. So, they're $20 or so. Some are $15. And, usually for those, they're streamed all over the world. So sometimes when I see these people, boxing is a small community. So I know a lot of people from all over the world. So I may see someone, I got a lot of friends from Britain, and when there's a big fight in Vegas, they've seen me, they've seen my work. So it's actually pretty cool doing that. So those are my main two. And obviously on my website, we have, Google ads, and, we make some money on the Google ads that way.
Okay. So real quick. So I asked you to send me some pics, right? To update the thumbnail after this live. And so you sent me one with Don King. When was this?
This was about a year, probably about a year ago.
Really?
So
by the way, forgive me, is he still alive?
Yeah, he's 93, and he's still promoting fights, and he still has energy out, so much energy. So when I do these interviews, I just say a couple words, and he goes for 10 straight minutes. He's still as sharp as a tack. He's still, I don't know how many of your viewers watch, Don King or seen his press conference. He equates these fights as some of the most historic, not even boxing matches, but historic happenings in the world. And he's still, there's no paper in front of him, no books to read from. He still got it after all these years at 93 years old. 94
was
in
this
August.
comment? Don King and Bob Arum?
Arum. So very, very astute. So Bob Arum and Don King, they're both 93 years old. They're the two biggest promoters of all time. They've been doing it over 50 plus years. The Arum, I think, next year is going to be at 60 years. They're still at it, promoting fights all over the world, and they're the two best to ever do it. I mean, it's not even close to like who's third and fourth. I mean, they're the two most prominent promoters of all time. And like I said, they're both 93 years old, and they're still doing it. It's incredible. And the energy that both these guys have, I just turned 52 2 days ago, And I don't
I was
think
going to
I
ask you when your birthday was because I remember you're an Aries, and I'm like, did I just miss your birthday? I did.
April 1st.
Happy belated birthday.
So,
April 1st. You are.
So yeah, so I can already tell you have a very astute audience there that they know about Don and
What's
and
up?
Bob
I'm impressed. I love my audience. I'm so impressed. So what got you into it? Like, why boxing?
Why boxing? It's I always tell people
Was it by
in boxing.
accident?
No, kind of, sort of, not really. So growing up, I was always a big sports nut. I could tell you every stat about every baseball, football, basketball player known to mankind. That was, that I mean, I still could do that. But for some reason, I started reading some books on boxing and the business of boxing. And I always watched the boxing matches when they came on TV. But, it was just, watching another sport, which I enjoyed. Then I started reading about the business of it, and I started reading a lot on it, and I started meeting some people. And then I emailed this website, 15rounds.com, and the editor at the time, the owner at the time, emailed back and says, yeah, we need someone to cover the Philly circuit. That'd be great for us. You're not far from New York. There's a lot of action in New York. I'm an hour from Atlantic City, and I'll get in Atlantic City in a second. So yeah, we need someone there. So when I sent in this email, I thought, hopefully this guy gets back to me, and I can just write about the fights that are on TV. I can sit out on Saturday nights in my shorts and eat pizza and, whatever, and just write about it. Little did I ever know that I'd be, 2-3 rows from some of the biggest fights of all time, and I was within a couple of years. I was within the first couple rows of out in Las Vegas, Oscar De La Hoya and Floyd Mayweather, and some of those big fights. So, and it's turned into a very nice, fun career. Like I said, I go to Vegas 4 or 5 times a year.
You going to Atlantic City all the time? Is that still?
Well, I go to Atlantic. I go to Atlantic City. Atlantic City used to be very vibrant. There used to be a lot of boxing events in Atlantic City. Now there really isn't. There's a big fight there next weekend on April 12th, but it's not as big as it was. And luckily, and just to keep on Atlantic City for half a second, in 2021, I was inducted into the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame for all the stuff that I've done.
I just got chills. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so 2021, and I went in with some big names like Roy Jones and Kelly Pavlik and Riddick Bowe. So it was an unbelievable experience, a great weekend, very humbled by it. And like I said, I just work hard. I feel I'm very knowledgeable, and I work very hard at what I do. I do a lot of things. I do a boxing podcast. I also do another sports podcast. So I just try to stay busy.
What's the name of your podcast?
Well, it's on Abrams Boxing on YouTube, and it's on all my social media. But it's Abrams Boxing on YouTube. I just call it the Abrams Boxing Show. Very, very, very unique concept, right?
So where are you from, Mark?
I grew up in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, right across the bridge from where I'm sitting now. Now I live in Philadelphia. I've lived in Philly full time for about 18 years.
I live in Philly. That's me going, yeah!
Oh, okay.
We're going to have some fun here.
The Who, we don't go for it again. That's the song. But so yes, I've been like I said, I've been in boxing. I've done some stuff in some other sports earlier, and I'm trying to get back into it. I've been doing a podcast with my good friend Glenn Foley, who played quarterback for the New York Jets, who I've been friends with for only 46 years. And we're doing some things. We did a couple podcasts down at the Eagles in the parking lot, where a good friend of ours does a massive tailgate before every game. So it fit in well. We got some great ideas for next year. We're going to probably over the next few months, we're going to be showing up at some other sporting events, doing a podcast, doing a sports podcast. And, we're working on some big things there.
Awesome. Can we talk about how we met? Do you remember? How we met?
Yeah, I met you through, it was my friend who was friends with your friend, right?
Yeah, Anthony, I think his name was.
My friend Anthony and
Madeline.
Yeah, that girl Madeline, yeah. and then we all became friends. And me and Anthony are still close to this day. You haven't talked to that girl probably about 30 years, right?
Who? Oh, Madeline. Yeah, I haven't spoken
Yeah.
to her since.
So, we all, like I remain friends with a lot of people. Most of my best friends are 30, 35. I still have a group of about 5 or 6 guys that from high school and even elementary school. So yeah, it's a long time. I remember you used to hate boxing, or you didn't like.
I still don't like it.
You don't like people punching each other.
Exactly.
So.
Thank you for remembering. It's like I respect
that.
the sport, but I can't watch it. It makes me feel pain, and so I'm like, oh, I can't.
It's I guess to some people could be an acquired taste, but I'm so used to it. It's just it's just every day to me. So
I know it's almost you actually in a way even embody it, like even like the way you talk. Not that you didn't talk that way before, but like again, you're an Aries, you're a fighter. You know what I mean? Like you're ruled by Mars, so I'm like you're in the perfect. As if I were your life coach and you're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what my calling is. And I'd be like, with you, it's like, well, something with sports.
Well, I was always going to. I'm only going to do sports. That's all. I mean, that's all I know. I mean, that's all I know. I don't know much about a lot of other stuff, but yes, sports is my calling.
So guys, when I asked Mark, like when, how did we meet? If he remembers, and he just told you, at that time when we actually met, he met me at my worst time ever. Mark never met me, or Mark didn't meet me in any good point. Like, again, obviously you only met me in one point. And at that point I had lost everything. And I had actually even lost my mind. So I don't even know how you befriended me, Mark. I don't even know how you dealt with me. Cause I remember calling you, and I remember, the cell phones at the time was the Nokia. I remember Nokia. It was like the first, like the digital genre was 2001.
Yeah.
And, you would just call, hey, how you doing? Like, that's it. Like that was it. That's all. Mark's like, hey, how you doing? How you doing? And I'm like, man, I'm in hell and I'm just miserable. And I mean, unconsolable miserable. And Mark, I'm like, dude, why are you calling me? Why do you even talk to me? Like, what's wrong with you? And he's like, listen, I've suffered. I know some shit. He's like, and I'm telling you right now, I've been through this, that. He gave me all these details of what he went through. It was a lot of shit. And I was just like, wow.
I've had 5 stomach surgeries in the process. So yeah, I mean,
to say the least. And like, I think your dad had passed away too at that time. Before.
Yeah, 2000,
so you're like, look, I know what hell is. And I was like, no. I was so self-absorbed and all that shit. And I was so alone because nobody wanted the miserable Olga. Everybody wanted the party, happy-go-lucky Olga. And so I was completely alone. And Mark I mean, you're a saint because it's like you knew I was going to be hell. And yet you would not give up. And he kept saying, you gotta be positive.
Yeah, that's all you gotta do.
That's how he would say it. Dude, it was
keep on keeping
over
on.
again.
What else you can do is keep on keeping on.
And it was for like a whole year at least. It wasn't like, a few times. No, it was like every day for a year. And it took that long, but he would not give up on me, guys. Talk about a boxing guy here. He would not give up. It's like the bell's ringing. He's like, I'm getting back up.
You can't.
He is literally the reason I'm here today. I'm telling you facts. Facts. Because I remember that, although I wasn't listening, because I'm like, I remember eventually I guess the repetition sunk in the subconscious. And then one day I just got out of bed and I was like, you gotta be positive. It was like a replay. And I was like, okay, I'm going to fake it. I'm going to fake it.
Hold on. I've never even smoked weed, so you say I didn't sound like that. It sounds like you sound like I was talking about
it was you're because I was screaming at you, and then you would be like, "You gotta be positive." You know what I mean? Like you were trying to calm me down. That's what you were doing. I'm like, And you're like, you gotta like calm down. Like you gotta be positive. And that's why I say it that way, because that's literally what you were doing. You're like, Olga, I get it. And I'm like, no, because I lost everything and I'm heartbroken. And he was the love of my life. There will never be another one. And Mark goes, oh God. Like, so again, you would use that voice to calm me.
What did I say? I didn't remember saying. I think there's 7 billion people in the world, and half of them are guys. That's only one. That's what I said to you.
But you went even more specific than that. You would say, Olga, there's like 2 million people in Philadelphia. Yeah. Mathematically, it's impossible that you will not meet another guy, even if you never live Philly. And I'm like, no. But yeah, I'm so glad you remember that shit about, yes. You were like, that's impossible. And then after that, it took me at least 4 years to recoup, I guess, and to grow and heal and all that shit. And then I did fall in love again. And then it was horrible. And then I did it again and it was disappointment. But you were right. You were right. And it's amazing how one person can have that much power. But you didn't give up.
I don't have power. I'm just right.
Yeah.
That's it. It's nothing to do with power. I wish I had that much power.
That's the Mark I know. That's it right there. Like, I'm always right. And then, we would hang out, periodically. Sometimes we would see each other every month. Sometimes it would be months between us, like talking or seeing each other.
Uh-huh.
And then we'd meet up for happy hour with a bunch of my other friends. Some Derek, there's a few people that you met through me, or, we sat together.
Right.
And then I would be like, dude, who would want you? Because I would love busting your chops because you fight back. Everyone's like, what?
Yeah, we
You're like, what? What? You think you're beautiful? You're not that hot, Olga. Let's be honest. And everyone loved it because they're like, wait, we've never seen a man tell Olga, that she ain't all that, and she whatever. And I'm like, oh, shut up, Mark. You're just jealous. And you're like, oh, what am I jealous about? What? Let me guess. Exactly. Wait, do you remember the whole baby?
That was then. That was years and years and years ago.
No, I can tell you the exact year, 2009. Remember when I was dating the FedEx? And you're like, apparently FedEx didn't deliver. Do you remember that shit? And you were also like, look at you.
I think I told you should start dating the UPS guy. That's what I told you.
But do you remember when I was crying about it? I'm like, you understand? Because it was a guy that I used to work with at a restaurant. We were both servers at the time in the 90s. And, he found me on Facebook. And of course, remember the whole thing. And then he comes, much older, bald. And I predicted, like, let me guess, he's probably fat because he didn't send me a picture. Again, no insult, but your thing is like, because I had such high hopes. I'm like, oh, see, it was meant to be, all my failures because this guy, and then this guy like disappears. Apparently he was literally bipolar. But when I was crying about it at the happy hour, like not crying, like literal tears, but you remember I'd be like, no, you don't understand. Like we had all this connection and you were like, and you're still talking about this dude. Like you won't shut up. And that's when you go, you're like, Olga, you're like that commercial. The Swifter mop or something.
Yeah. Well, what was it?
But the theme song was "Baby Come Back."
Baby, yeah, because he's gonna come back to me, and we started singing "Baby Come Back." It's a shame that this wasn't going on now because of all the different Amazon guys who probably knock on doors. You can grab one of those.
Oh my God, you still got it. You still got it. You haven't changed. I love it. And you're looking good, by the way. You're looking good.
I try.
I have to say, you look the same. You got a couple gray hairs, but that's it.
That's it.
Looking the same. But you're a little more perky lately. Congratulations.
Oh, yeah. I know I became a father 7 months ago, and I got the most beautiful baby girl in the world. And me and my wife, we're just so in love. It's great.
Thank you for sending me that picture.
I sent you a picture a couple of days ago.
Yeah. Oh my God, I fell in love with her too.
Yeah. So, and we'll like I said, I'm just never around. You can definitely come over the house and and meet her and all that stuff. So
I would love to. I mean, and I hope, obviously I'll ask your wife when I come, like,
yeah.
it's okay to kiss her because I'm a kisser. Like, I'm going to not just pick her up.
Well, you're European. You're from Spain. So
exactly. Like, so if she's like, no, don't kiss my baby. Okay. I won't do it, but it will be hard.
yeah.
So, I wanted to have a good excuse to talk to you.
Well,
and here we
actually,
are.
I know you. And now I'm glad that like I said, I'm glad. It's you don't need no excuse. I'm just so busy.
You're
with
so
stuff.
busy.
In
Guys,
fact, as soon as I hang up with you, I got to tape my own podcast. So I'm literally
you don't do it live?
get,
I thought I saw some lives.
Sometimes I do it live. Sometimes I tape it and just put it up. Sometimes I tape it and stream it as it's live. So, sometimes it all depends what kind of mood I'm in. So,
Okay.
I may tape this one today and stream it live tonight, like 8:00 or something, just to put it out there. So
politically, what do you think about what's happening, like the U.S. tariffs? Just saying, because
I'm going to be 1,000% honest with you, and this is like, I'm probably the only one in the world that's not following. I don't follow it that much. I know, obviously, I follow just enough. I know a lot of businesses are in trouble because of this. I don't know the X's and O's about it. I don't know the ins and outs about it. And I apologize, any of your viewers. I just don't follow it enough. I don't get much involved in politics. I'm not one of these people like, all right, Trump won. I mean, he's the president. Let's get behind. I'm all about let's get behind whoever wins. I mean, we're Americans. I'm all about root for the home team. So if he's the president, he's our leader. Let's hopefully he does a good job. If Kamala would have won, it would be the same way. So I don't really.
I like that. I like that you said that. I haven't heard anybody say that.
Yeah,
I like that
because
you're right. It's Team America at the end of the day.
But here's the thing. If you get, it's fine and everyone should have an opinion. And people wanted the other side to win. That's that's great. I mean, everyone should have their own opinions, but the results were what they were, and so there's nothing anyone can do to change them. So let's go forward and just try to do the best we can. That's all we can do.
Right.
So.
Right. I like that.
There's going to be people who are going to be kicking and screaming about the president for, for the next 4 years. What good is it going to do? It's going to get upset is only going to cause you anguish. So
yeah, you can't get upset over this stuff. No. But hey, Christopher, shout out for gifting 5 memberships. Thank you. Yay. But anyway, not to interrupt you, but it's funny because I kind of want to read some of these chats. Can you see them on your end? I'm not sure if you can.
No, I can't.
Oh, really? Well, you saw JDM is like boxing fan here from the UK. Did you see? I popped that earlier, but also JDM goes Don King and Bob. Oh yeah, I already did that. Sorry. Yeah. Frank Warren in third. I don't know what that means.
Frank Warren. See, wow, you have a very astute. I like your audience.
At least JDM is
Frank Warren, and it's a good segue. Frank Warren. He's been the guy in Britain for about 45 years, for almost 50 years. One of the greatest promoters ever. I actually had the pleasure of meeting him a few years ago when I was in England. A fighter that I worked for fought one of his fighters for a world title over in Manchester. And Frank was a cool guy, really cool guy, Frank Warren. And he actually this weekend he just switched his TV network. He's going on a platform called DAZN, which is like the biggest boxing network out there. He's doing his first fight card on DAZN this weekend, a good heavyweight fight. Yeah, Frank Warren is one of the greatest ever. He's okay. He definitely. I mean, if you want to say he's number 3, I don't have a problem with that.
I got another live chat that caught my eye too because I know this guy because he has a podcast. I wonder if he's ever rubbed elbows with Nino Rodriguez, the
Nino
champ.
Rodriguez.
He has his own podcast now. He doesn't do boxing anymore. He does like the news and politics. But yeah, Nino, David Rodriguez, aka Nino. And I do watch his channel, and I'm a subscriber and a follower. In fact,
Yeah, I
I've
wonder
asked him to be a
if-
guest on my show.
I wonder if that's the kid who was a heavyweight from Texas.
Yes, from Texas. He's definitely from El Paso, Texas.
That's him. Yes. I may have met him once or so. He got up to, he was about 30 at one point, I believe, this kid. I can look him up right now. It's a small world. He was a heavyweight boxer who started getting a lot of fanfare, and here I can tell you what his record was. He was 37-2. Yep, from El Paso, Texas. Correct. I definitely know who he is. I'm trying to think. I may have interviewed him back in the day, which is possible because he just stopped fighting in 2015. So I was way in the game at that point. So yes, I mean I definitely know who he was. So I think he was about 35-0. I think he was about 35-0 before he lost.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he tells a story, not all the time, but a lot of times it'll come up in his podcast. He does live streams Monday. Look, I don't miss any of his lives. They're 11:30 Eastern Standard Time, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And he's been doing really good. Apparently he went viral over some posts about the pedos and like the Hollywood scene. And then all of a sudden, it's a long story because he also, got sober and all this stuff.
No, it's actually really cool that you get on here, you can do something, and the whole world knows you 10 minutes later.
Yeah. But he's a good soul. Good.
Like,
I feel him. He's honest. He
knows his boxing, which is good.
Well, he's commented because lately, like with the whole these influencers or content creators like Jake Paul and his brother. So he's been obviously giving his 2 cents on how the shit's so rigged that it's not even. He says that it's just.
Yeah, I mean, and actually, I get asked this question a lot because Jake Paul, as you know, he's now a professional boxer, and he's had about 13, 14 professional fights. He's only lost once, and he's trying to get fights with the biggest guys in boxing and this, that, the other.
What about that fight with I'm sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead. I'm so sorry.
Mike Tyson.
You knew it.
So, I mean, I watched it. I mean, and a lot of people in the world, watched it. Over 100-something million people around the world watched it. I knew going in. I said if this was on the level, Jake Paul was going to beat the living crap out of Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson at that point was a 59-year-old. Well, he's 59 years old. And for the better part of 25 years, he's admitted he's, smoked a lot of weed, done this, done that. He was enjoying retirement, and then to have him come out to fight a 25-year-old kid. I don't care that Jake Paul isn't, was a great amateur boxer or had so much boxing experience. It's a big kid, a 25-year-old athletic kid. It's not who's, been training hard for, I had a friend of mine who used to train Jake Paul. The kid has been training very hard for the last, 5-6 years at this. And I thought he was going to knock Tyson out, but I think he let Tyson at least get to the finish line, to the final bell.
So it's rigged.
I don't want to say that there's a difference.
I think it's more of a joke, like they try to sensationalize.
But to like the real boxing people, but to the real boxing people, the Jake Paul stuff, they're more events than they are fights. You know what I mean?
Okay.
They're more of events. In fact, there was a fight right before that Jake Paul fight, on the same night with the 2 girls, Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, who was a rematch. I was at their first fight that sold out Madison Square Garden. They beat it was an unbelievable fight. I mean, you who doesn't like violence, you definitely would have turned your head on this one. They beat the crap out of each other the first time. Then they were the co-main event to the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight. They beat the crap out of each other for the second fight. And They made a boatload of money, and they're doing it for a third time.
That's
July
about the
11th.
money.
Well, what's about what? But that's about what anything is, though.
You're right.
I mean, but seriously,
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
you know, you could anyone a paper boy. He's going to deliver papers to make the money. You know, everything. I mean, money's it's not everything, but it's it helps.
So where do you think the future of boxing is going?
Future of boxing right now, it's a little bit of an interesting spot because in the last 2 years, Saudi Arabian money has gotten involved with boxing, and they've made because a lot of the big fights now are going to Saudi Arabia because they have all the money. They got so much money over there, which is good for the sport. It's definitely good for the sport in the sense that the fans are now going to get to see the fights that they want to see. I mean, and I'm sure some of your audience knows that there's so much politics in boxing. If you fight for this promoter, that means you're not going to fight the guy who, you probably should fight because he's with that promoter or that TV network, and your biggest rival may be signed to another TV network. So now that they're offering these guys so much money and offering these promoters so much money in Saudi Arabia, a lot of the fights now, a lot of the great fights are going over to Saudi Arabia. And now the Saudi Arabian guy's name is Turkey Al-Sheikh. He's going to start bringing a lot of big fights around the world. So to the United States, to England, to other places around the world. So, yeah, there's going to be a lot of big fights that fans have been wanting to see for years and years are finally going to happen. So hopefully that does something good for the sport.
Wow.
The business.
Sense because they do have the money.
They're the government. These are people who work for the government, and the government, they print the money. So that's where it's at. That's where it's at.
Anybody have any questions or anything you want to add or ask Mark? He's game. In the meantime, while you guys ask me any questions you want. Mark, first of all, so happy. Thank you so much for being on my show. And
pleasure to be on.
And I hope you'll come back.
Yeah, I'll come back.
I would love that.
Maybe when there's like a big event or something that comes, maybe we can.
Yeah, because remember we were going to do it with the whole Mike Tyson thing. Because I reached out to him like, yeah, we should.
Correct.
But you were very busy. Correct. I get it. Yeah, dude, I'm game if you're game. I don't need an excuse to talk to you and see you. Are you kidding me? 7 days a week, baby, all the time. But, well, if I don't get any questions for you from the audience, and again, when you're watching this, if you don't watch the live, you can still comment and Mark me. We'll respond. Just know that. So just because you missed a live stream doesn't mean the conversation's over. We're family here. But Mark, I'm going to put you on the spot and put myself on the spot. What is something that my audience might not know about me that you know about me?
Oh, that's.
What do you think they think about me? What do you think my audience really thinks about me? Right?
They probably think that you're entertaining.
Okay. And what do you think? Do you think they think I'm like hardcore or a sweetheart? Like, I know you don't watch my show. Take a good guess. Tell them something that they can't possibly know.
Okay, you're real. I mean, like, you say what's on your mind. You don't sugarcoat. You don't hold back. How about that?
For my audience members, would you agree that, because my whole thing on my show is, obviously it's a show, right? So you're doing a show, but I always want to obviously entertain and bring value, but it's the struggle because you're performing, right? You're like, hi, welcome to the Olga. You know what I'm saying? You're performing. And my whole thing, I don't constantly say, but I say it a lot where I'm like, I just hope that my realness comes through. You know what I mean? And so I love that you are saying that in real life, regardless of the show, Olga is or acts or speaks or behaves in a real fashion.
Correct. I would agree with that.
What's my ugliest trait? Come on. What's the worst thing about me that you've known of? I'll put myself on the spot. I don't give a shit.
I don't know. I'm not. One thing I don't do, I don't rip on people. You know
I think
that.
ever since you became a dad, you got sweeter. You already sweet
soft.
before.
I'm soft. Guilty
You got
as
softer.
charged.
You did, because back in the day, you would have loved to go all over on that one. Like, oh, let me tell you the ways.
I'm soft. You're perfect. You got no bad traits.
Oh no, that's not. But thank you. Thank
No,
you.
I don't know. I couldn't even.
Well, I know professionally you are hardcore. Like you work hard.
You work very hard. It's all
Yeah.
That's the only thing. That's the only thing you can control. It's like this. You're going to work hard doing this podcast here. You can't control if people think you're awesome. You can't control if people think you suck. But as long as you work as hard as you can, that's all you can do.
That's it.
That's it. You know, that's it. And you know,
that's it.
So
I'm looking at the comments to see. Let me see. Oh, that's sweet. Thank you, Robert Leija. Thank you for coming. That's for you, Mark. Let me see. What are the thoughts about the controversy surrounding the Olympics?
Well, I think there's, I guess, two. He may be going one of two spots. They're trying to drop boxing from the Olympics, but I think what he's talking about, there was a transgender woman.
Oh, is that what you're talking about, Chris? That's a good question. Chris, can you let me know in the live chat? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, the trans shit. Ooh, but go ahead. What do you think about that? I mean, there's no question, right? Go ahead.
I mean, if she was born a man, I mean,
it's a man.
I don't know. I guess I'm trying to be politically correct.
Oh, see, and my thing is, I get you because we're nice people. I get it. We don't care. We love everybody. We accept. Like I'm totally with you.
But yes, I mean, I don't know all the studies and everything, but on the surface, it would seem like there would be.
No, I wouldn't even compete. I would not if there was a trans person on my team. It's nothing personal, sister, brother, whatever.
Well, you just saw what happened. You just saw what happened here in Philadelphia, and we just to talk about the president again. I think he is like withholding like $100 million to the University of Pennsylvania.
Oh yes.
Because I guess the first real prominent trans athlete was a swimmer from Penn, and I think
Chris is talking about that. He's talking about the trans.
So yes, I mean, I would say that there's some kind of discrepancy there if she was born a man. So as far as I know, I mean, I don't do all the science, but yes, there definitely was a big and unfortunately that pretty much was the story about boxing in the Olympics the last time out. So
what about those girls that were again the trans? Okay. Trans women that competed with men in boxing. I mean,
no, they were
no judgment, but to me it was criminal the way these women got beat up. Not that I'm not blaming the man, or you get my point, but like,
yes,
it hurt me. Like I felt. Go ahead. Sorry.
No. I agree. They were born, I guess, male and competed as females.
No, I'm talking about the women that competed as male. I'm asking about the trans.
I don't know if that happened in boxing.
Maybe it was UFC or something. Maybe you're right.
I don't recall that, but you may know more than I do.
No, I don't. I just remember. Hey guys, in the live chat, who was it? There was a couple women, or again, trans women competing with men, and I don't think it was WWE. I think it was maybe UFC, and Dude, I know the difference between UFC and boxing, but I don't know
No,
why.
I don't.
So it's never happened. In boxing, there's never been a trans boxing with like a trans woman boxing against a male or
Not
a
that I
trans
know
male
of.
boxing against a female.
Except for what we just spoke about the Olympics, I'm not familiar with any of that.
Okay, so maybe that's what I'm thinking. The Olympics.
Yeah.
Well, there was, I mean, again, I wasn't there, right? But there was some studies like that. Yeah, like the guy from Morocco or Algeria or something.
Yeah, I think she was from Algeria.
Yeah. And so like
that's what Chris and we're
that's what they're
referring
asking
to.
about.
Yeah.
Well, apparently he was disqualified, or I don't know. If
he won the gold medal, or she won the gold medal. See, I don't even.
Before that, he went through some other Olympic process or whatever the committee is to qualify you, and they said that he didn't qualify. Like there was this one. Again, let me shut up.
Yeah, I do follow the Olympics somewhat, not as close as I follow pro boxing. I do follow the Olympics, and I kind of know what that's all about. But like I said, I don't know the whole.
This is it. You know what, Chris? Right. Thank you, because I read the same, or I read a lot, but I read this too, that it was reading upon how they're supposed to have a certain testosterone level. Like that was like the defining factor. Like that's it. This is the line in the sand.
Correct.
That level is still a lot higher than what a woman has. Yeah, and that's the thing. Even when they're taking female hormones.
Correct.
Which, I don't even know why this is a question. Like like
I said, it's
we have Paralympics, right?
But they're all competing against each other, who are pretty much on the same playing field.
That's what I mean. This is a no-brainer. I'm sorry. This is not a debate. This is not political. And so those who try to say, no, we're gonna be fair because we're gonna make them feel inclusive, it's like you're trying to be nice. You're not being honest. You know what I mean? So obviously I'm not the only person that would say, why don't you have your own team? Like trans with trans.
I don't know. Like I said, that's above my pay grade.
Yeah. This is just opinion, everyone. We're just having a talk. This is just opinion, no facts here. Like I'm trying to think of all the disclaimers. Like, relax, everyone, because you should want people to be honest. This is what I want to, the audience to know. Like, whoever you are watching this, when you watch this, after the live stream, whatever is said on my podcast and here in this live stream, you should want to hear real conversation with people, not what you want to hear, because I want to hear whatever you think, not just you, Mark, like anyone. Like I'll listen. I'll listen. I won't shut you up. I believe in freedom of speech. I mean, I'm 100%. I'm a full tard, like freedom of speech absolutist. No matter what, even if it's bad, because I know that when you go, oh, you can say this, but not that. It's like, well, that's not free. That's not free speech then. Like, it's just, it is. It's really that, opening closed case.
Yeah.
It's either freedom, and if you switch it in any way, there's no freedom. So I'm always, I was locked in a convent. Like I was always punished for my big mouth. Even if I'm a good person, it doesn't matter. And so I go way deep. I go way before the current, atmosphere of politics and culture and society in today's day. I've been doing this since 1972. You know what I mean? Like I've been punished for my mouth. And if I didn't shut up, I'm not shutting up now. Are you out of your mind? Because I remember the oppression. I remember the misery. I remember that I didn't do nothing wrong. I didn't hurt anybody. And the whole thing was, but we want you to be a certain way, meaning you're making me artificial. And then how the whole society in general, at least 30, 40 years, be yourself. Oh no, be yourself, but don't say this. No. Either be yourself or you don't. You can't handle it. Change the channel. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm for you. Like go find your tribe. Anyway, sorry. I didn't mean to go on a rant. I'm very passionate about this shit. Like, we're not here to please people. No one's ever going to make you 100% happy. And no one is going to say everything perfect all the time. So it's like censoring, it doesn't work. All it does is suppress, which ultimately makes humans miserable. And I suffered for being outspoken, but the fact that I stood up and I kept getting up, like if I got kicked down, I'm like, I'm getting back up. Like, as long as I got air in my lungs, I'm getting the fuck back up. Talk about boxing. I'm getting up. Anyway, I don't see any more questions. So, Mark, is there anything else you would love to share?
That's it. Just, I guess I'll give, if anyone wants to follow me and everything going on boxing, again, theboxinghour.com, THEBOXNGHOUR.com. Follow me on Twitter at MAbramsBoxing and on Instagram, Mark, that's MARCABRAMS boxing, Marc Abrams Boxing. So, that's where you can find me. And Abrams Boxing on YouTube. You can watch my boxing podcast. I got a couple good guests this week that I'll be taping tonight. And so there you go.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you, Mark. I can't thank you enough. I love you so much. I miss you so much. And look, I'm putting you on the spot. I want you back. And guys, my audience, if you want Mark back, let me know and I will screenshot it. I'll share it to him to kind of pressure him to come back, because I know you're a great guy.
You can also send me the ones that say no, don't bring him back. I want to see them too.
Yeah. And much love to your wife and your baby daughter, girl. I do hope I can see you guys soon. But
yeah, you will.
Seriously, shout out. I want to say you're a lucky man, but I know you've earned it too. You get what you deserve.
I've got the best wife and the best daughter. So yes,
you do. I have met his wife, by the way, so I'm not just saying this.
Long time ago. Yeah.
But the baby, I haven't met her.
Yeah, you'll meet her. You'll meet her. Next couple of weeks, we'll make it happen.
All right, Mark. Everyone, we're gonna peace out. Thank you so much. Much love, many blessings. Share this content. This guy, I'm telling you, he's the only person that will have me watching anything with boxing because of his energy. You think I got energy? You got to check him out and let me know. I don't steer you wrong. All right, guys, much love.
My
Talk to you
pleasure.
soon.
See you
Bye.
soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.